trying to find Bush Apple. Come on.
Welcome to American Whiskey. As always, I'm your, I don't know if I'm your favorite, but I'm the host of American Whiskey, Big Sturge. And what John calls me, Little Sturge, but whatever. Justice League, Dougie Fresh, Levi's over here doing the production. We got Firehouse Shine Company, John.
No, I'm on a podcast.
And we're super thrilled to have Johnny Griffis on tonight. He's here. He'll be talking about anything that he's able to and hanging out tonight. So grab a whiskey, grab a moonshine, grab a IPA, grab any type of beer you want, a wine. It don't make a difference, but maybe it's a protein shake. I don't know what you're into. Let's sit back, relax. We're gonna have a good time tonight, and like as I always say, let's get started. All right, so we are going to get started here. But before we do that, as you guys know, we love whiskey here. That's why we're called American Whiskey. But ever since we become family with Burned Out Winery, we have been really hip to wine.
Yep.
Super duper hip. That's why we got their bottles right here in their t-shirt. You can go to burnoutwinery.com. Check out all the awesome flavors that they have and the types of wines that they offer. And you can purchase it there. They can ship it to you, and they can also deliver it if you live in a certain amount of, miles. Here's their commercial. If you're looking for a unique wine experience, check out Burned Out Winery. Founded by a team of siblings who turned their passion for winemaking into a thriving business. They focus on crafting exceptional small batch wines, from Moscato to tart cherry and spiced apple to their delightful sangrias. There's something for everyone. Each bottle tells a story, complete with a creative name that reflects their journey. Their wines are not only fantastic, but they're also affordable, making them a great choice for any occasion. You can easily order online at burnedoutwinery.com or connect with them on Facebook. They deliver. Whether you're local or out of state, they'll ship right to your front door. Support this hardworking team and savor the taste of Burned Out Winery. This is Big Sturge with American Whiskey. All right, guys. Welcome to the show. As I said earlier, we're really excited to have John Bentz on here. John Bentz is a brother of ours. We call him part of American Whiskey. Sometimes he's able to get on, sometimes he's not. But he's always welcome, and we appreciate the work that he's put in the last couple of weeks, getting people like Johnny, yourself on. We're busy, and John's been able to be busy and still do it. So shout out to John Bentz. It's something that's really helped. So I appreciate you, John.
Yep.
But Johnny, welcome to American Whiskey. I don't know if you've seen the show, or if this is your first time all around here. But welcome to the show, brother.
I appreciate it. I've watched, I think, one episode. I've caught one of them prior to today.
Okay. All right. So what I like to do, man, I don't call it an interview. We're just hanging out. We're just having a good time. But what I want to, when we created American Whiskey, we just wanted to create a platform for people like yourself that can get on and kind of talk about what are the things that you're doing in your life. What are some of those stories that you can share, and what are some goals that you have in mind? Just whatever you want to talk about. We kind of want to just let you introduce yourself. I'm not going to introduce you because nobody can do it better than yourself. You know what I mean?
Okay, sounds good. I live in South Alabama, right on the Florida border. I got a chance to get on Master Distillers, season 1, episode 2, American Whiskey.
What's the odds?
Back in we recorded 2019. It aired. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, your internet's pretty choppy, so we're having a difficult time
But
hearing you.
like I say, I'm in the middle of opening a distillery up.
Do you have a better spot in the house, Johnny? Well,
Yep, he lost connection.
John, I know you know Johnny Griffis and kind of the things that he's brought to the table. Hopefully, we can get him back on. But do you kind of want to?
There he is.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, simple. Well, might be a little better now.
That's okay. Bear with us here. It's all Johnny. It's all good. You should have met our show before we got the good internet here. It was always like that. So, but yeah, go ahead and start from the beginning, my man.
All right. My name is Johnny Griffis. I live in South Alabama, right on the Florida border. A little town called Flomaton off I-65, called the Gateway to the Gulf Coast. I actually got a chance to get on Moonshiner's Master Distillers. We recorded December of 2019, and it aired March 10th of 2020. Season 1, Episode 2, American Whiskey.
Which is kind of cool that was called American Whiskey, and you're on American Whiskey. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, me and John talked about that earlier today on a phone call.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. That's cool as fuck.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, what was your experience there? I know. So that was during COVID, then, right?
Well, we recorded prior to COVID, and it hit right after I recorded, and I had a chance was going to actually make a label at a distillery in Sevierville, Tennessee. Kenny Rogers' producer and manager's son, which was a funny card champion. He hit me up, and I was going to do a label there, and then COVID hit, and things kind of got put on hold, and it just never did materialize, and then I moved on from there.
It sounds like they've had a lot of issues with getting the bottles out or the jars. I know John, was Doug Taylor we went to Tennessee for. He had waited how long, John?
Oh shoot, I think it was a little over 3 years.
Yeah, it's fucking silly.
But the only one I know they done for sure, they done Jumbo Bray. He was the pilot episode. They released his by himself. And then they done season 1. There was only 5 episodes. They done that release all at one time, and then I think it got real slow after that.
Yeah. John, go ahead.
They've started into season 2. I know they got Doug Taylor and Alfredo's. And then from there, it's kind of been a crapshoot. Like some of them's taken out like buyouts, basically. I say buyouts, but they're going to have them down there and have them do like picture signings and stuff.
It's kind of like a meet and greet type deal.
Yep. But you don't get a jar of what they made on the show, which is, I think as somebody I've never been on the show, I tried to get on. Well, I think I got a few emails back, but never got to make it on there. I think the goal of it, right? It's at the end of it, try to get a jar out.
That's pretty much a lot of folks want to do it, to try to get their label out at a major distillery. That was the attraction to being on the show. And then it kind of took forever to get that done. So I think there's a lot of folks just kind of got a bad taste in their mouth after they kind of dropped the ball there.
Well, yeah. And I think that's, rightfully so.
Well, yeah, and exactly. I think that would be like a hell of a stepping stone, kind of get your foot in the door type of thing if you actually get
just got on there to get second.
Hey, John, believe it or not, I'm in the boat with you. I got second also.
But it's you might have got second place, but I think that both of you can say that it opened up opportunities, right? John Bentz is currently working. God bless his fucking heart. He's been working really, really hard. I've
been watching him.
He's working hard. He's getting there. We're almost there, John. We're almost there. I feel like we're on that 100-yard dash now. He's getting right there. But you didn't get first place, but it still brings opportunity to that maybe you didn't have prior to that, or maybe it brought you a little bit more confidence to go forward. You know what I mean? So
right. And Johnny, I heard you say that you're working on opening a distillery. How's that going, and what's in the works there?
Well, I took and went ahead of the city council in my town 2 or 3 weeks ago, and done a presentation to them, let them know what I wanted to do and what I had going on. and they was getting ready to vote. Well, the city attorney stands up, and for those who don't know, which if you live under a rock, you may not know, but I had a little run in with the law and got raided and busted for making a little moonshine. And he stood up and said, well, look, he still has 2 felony pending charges on him. I think it'd be premature to vote right now. So let's see if we can get this cleared up, and we'll go forward. So my attorney is meeting with the DA anytime now in the next few days, to try to get all of it cleared up. And but the Flumelton has opened the doors to me, my hometown, to doing the distillery. I just got to get this cleared up with the DA and the charges, and
So you're
full steam ahead.
now are you being charged as of now? You haven't been to court yet, or are you
No,
still?
okay. I'll do a real quick rundown. September the 11th of 2022, I'm just chilling, watching some of the reruns of 9/11, watching the towers and all. And the next day, I was doing a little, I'd already put my still up, because me and Jimbo Bray had a show on the Country Network called Alabama Shine. We actually had Jelly Roll on with us, George Jones, Tammy Wynette's daughter, Georgetta Jones, and Nikki Nelson from Highway 101. And we put our steels up. Well, he told us that we was going to take and do another episode at Moonshine Harley Davidson in Franklin, Tennessee. And we was going to be passing out moonshine, so we needed 20 pints. So I got my steel back out and was making some. And it was September the 12th of 2022. And I went in my house for 3 or 4 minutes to use the bathroom, get a coat, and I hear a banging at the door. State of Alabama search warrant. Well, the old man that taught me to make moonshine, his son married my cousin, and she's got a son that's grown now. And he's done that before. He'd bang on the door and say, hey, State of Alabama search warrant or whatever. So I thought it was him. I'm in the back of the house. And they were banging and screaming. I thought it was him. I said, bring your big ass in. I'll be with you in a minute. Well, he kept banging. I said, come on in. Well, when I got to the front of the house, I realized, I said, well, damn, it's either not Dak or real police. And I opened the door, and there's about 30 of them, and about 15 of them had rifles on me. Told me to throw my hands up and come to them. And you'd have thought I was John Gotti, and they just found Jimmy Hoffa in my septic tank at the level they come to me. And they tell me, said, throw your hands up and come to us. So I put my hands up, and I'm taking little small baby steps. Didn't want to make no sudden movement. They all out there with their hands on triggers. And my wife's got a lab she keeps in the house. And she was behind me barking, raising hell. And one of the cops said, hey, what about that dog? I said, what about her? He said, well, she bite? And, I went thinking. I said, well, ordinarily she ain't got 30, 40 idiots with guns screaming in the yard. So I don't know what she might do. He said, well, I'm going to shoot her. I said, well, you go right ahead and shoot her if you want to. I said, I'll call Humane Society on you. And so he said, well, turn around and get her and bring her outside and put her on this run line you got. And I was going to do it. I took a half step, and I don't know why, but Rodney King popped in my mind in the little Yugo. So I turned back around and I said, no, hell no, I ain't getting that dog. He said, what the hell did you say? I said, no, I'm not getting that dog. Why not? I said, all I got to do is turn around and get that dog and sure her snatch away from me. You say I'm not complying or reaching for a weapon and shoot me in my damn back. No, sir, I ain't. Turn around and get that dog.
That's smart.
Yep.
And anyway, the one guy said, look, just keep your eyes on us and do the limbo. Go low as you can go till you get her by the collar and carry her out. Well, then they carried me outside, cuffed me up, set me on my swing outside, said, look, we serving the search warrant. We're going to cuff you for our protection and yours. You understand that? I said, yeah, sure. And so they doing the search warrant. And I have my phone and my wallet sitting right beside me on the swing. And my son lives next to me. And as they doing all this, and I had a couple of guys stand beside me, my phone rings. I look down, none other than Jimbo Bray. I said, he don't need to be calling at this time. So I played it off. I hollered at my son. I said, John, your phone's ringing. You need to come get it. So he come fix my wallet and the phone up, walk back, and answered and told Jimbo what was going on, and basically give him a pay-by-play as I'm getting arrested. But I got to the court the next day to be arraigned. The judge tells me, said, look, I've never had this moonshiner come across here in 30 years. He said, but I looked up the law, and the state of Alabama can't agree whether they want it to be felonies or misdemeanors. So I can't arraign you on something that they can't agree on making the law on. I said, well, I'm not going to stay in jail. He said, no, just don't leave the state of Alabama. It takes 7 months for me to get a letter in the mail to become be arraigned. And anyway, so they arraigned me. And when they left my house that first day, they had me with 5 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. But when I went to court, they wound up dropping everything but 2 misdemeanors. Well, fast forward, the following August, the 25th of the next year, me and Jumbo and John Benson's buddy Mike Burdett was going to be going to North Alabama to a meet and greet, paid meet and greet, and I wasn't even home. I was at the grocery store. My son called me and said, Daddy, they finna kick your door in again. I said, for what? I had no mash, I had no liquor. I didn't even own a steel at the time because I took all mine in the first raid. There was a lady in Pensacola, not far from me. Her husband made moonshine and kept it a secret and she didn't know. Well, he passed away. He had a North Georgia steel. I think it was 35 gallon with a column on it with the like a drum box with and all. And it was in the box, not even put together, and I was gonna sell it for her. And then I had to borrow one from a buddy of mine because we was doing the Talk About It TV show at the time, and I had them steels there. Well, they say it was illegal to own a steel in the state of Alabama. Carried me to jail, took all the steel, stayed all weekend, and this time the DA is there, and the judge tells him, misdemeanors. He said, no, it's felonies. And the judge said, no, sir, it's misdemeanors. We run into this last year. Well, I call it Jehovah Witnessing me. He took the big black law book and read a little bit here, skip over here and read a little bit, and tried to make what he wanted it to make.
Right.
And the judge didn't agree with it, so I left with 2 misdemeanors. Well, he didn't like that. So 6 months later, me, Mike, and Jimbo was doing a background check to fill out for the distillery license in North Alabama. Comes up, I got a warrant on me. I said, no, I ain't got no damn warrant. He said, yeah, you do. So I called my attorney when they run a check in their office there. I said, we don't see where you got a warrant. Well, the guy that done it screenshot it. He said, so I sent it to him. And my lawyer was in court in Brewton, Alabama, and I was at the office in Atmore, which is about 30 miles apart. And so his secretary called the courthouse. Then asked about it. Oh, she said, oh, yeah, the DA didn't like what the judge told him. So he went and waited for the grand jury to come up, and he went and had him indicted on 2 felony charges.
Jeez.
Upgraded. So then I had to go turn myself back in to them with my attorney, and I get out 3 hours later. But because them getting the steals and all, the first time when I turned myself back in, they wrote it back up on jail view and made it look like they caught me running moonshine for the 3rd time, which wasn't the case, but that's the way it looked in the papers.
Right.
But as of now, I've never got discoveries. I've never got anything. Me and my lawyer haven't from the very first time.
I mean, I guess my biggest problem with this is how can you be tried for the same thing twice? If the judge already determined they're misdemeanors, how can they try you against felonies?
I'm glad you brought that up. I told my attorney, I said, I was going to be a prison guard when I got out of high school, and I wanted another route. And I know what double jeopardy is because I had a cousin happen to him. They should have dropped both misdemeanor charges, and then the feds could have picked up the charges. But we was never told that they indicted me. They know my attorney of record and everything. We'd already been arraigned. They never told my attorney, me, or anything that they went and indicted me and put them charges on me. They was on there 10 days on me with a warrant without us being notified. I guess they were just going to pick me up at a roadblock or stop me and carry me to jail.
And make it seem like you were running from them.
Exactly. And see, and that's the only, and if I didn't do that background check for that distillery, we'd have never known it and they'd have scooped me up.
Yeah.
And it caused a lot more trouble.
It's interesting because you look at what you're doing. During this situation,
yep.
You're doing something that you're not
victimless crime.
You're not causing harm towards somebody.
Right.
Nope.
You're not. I think you said when that first time it happened, were you running a 25? You said at that time
a 50 gallon.
Okay, so you're running a 50 or whatever.
But like you said,
you come inside the house, grab a cold Coke, and maybe let the dogs out, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, they was watching me. They was watching me with a drone that you couldn't fit in the back of a pickup bed.
Jeez.
Now, were you running this on flame or was it electric? Just
it was propane.
So they actually seen you running at that point.
Yep. They was watching with the drone, and my daughter-in-law is right where I'm at now, and they got a porch here. And so she heard it sound like a weed eater She walked down and looked and see if anybody was weed eating, but she didn't step off the covered porch and look up, or she'd have seen them.
Well,
And
I
the
think
guy, when they
sorry.
flew down here on me, I live on a dead end. It's my house, my son's, and then my sister and brother-in-law's. He told me, "I've been driving by your house for years trying to catch you." That was the first lie. We on a dead end. You don't just drive by my house.
Right. Yeah, you're going to drive down and have to do a 4-point turn just to get the fuck out.
And I'll tell you a funny story. When it happened, one of my neighbors seen the drone. And it was in September. She said, "It's pot time, harvest time. They're looking for marijuana." Well, when she realized what was going on, she said, "I don't want to call because they done had you wrapped up." Well, I ain't going to call no names, but there's another guy that makes a little shine in this town next to me. And she knows him. So she messages him and says, "Hey, they got Johnny. Here's a picture of the drone in there. If you got anything, you better put it up." Well, he's on some of the moonshine sites on Facebook. Well, he reaches out to Big Steve. And he tells Big Steve, he says, "Hey, they got Johnny, and here's the drone." And they put it on a group chat warning everybody. Well, because Big Steve used to be a policeman, and I ain't in jail yet, and mugshot yet, and on the news yet, he was putting that out. So everybody got saying, "Big Steve, turn me in. Big Steve, turn me in." And it did look bad on him for a minute. But I got out.
Look out for people.
Right. But it kind of looked bad on him. Him, an ex-cop, and I ain't in mugshot and in jail yet, still in handcuffs in my swing. And he's showing people pictures of the drone. So it did look bad. So I get out the next evening and call him. And he tells me exactly how it went down, showed me the screenshots and all that. And so I said it straight. I told the one that told me he'd done it. So no, it looked bad, but that ain't how it went down.
Well, hey, listen,
Steve was innocent.
You can judge a picture by what you're seeing, or you can try to understand the scenario.
If you don't know the full picture, then just shut up and wait to find out.
Well, and I would like to think that, Dylan, you have a lot of experience with convicts and right. And I'm starting to also. I just started a new job. I'm getting into that, and Phil too. He's not here, bless his heart. He's got to work, but you know, you cannot put somebody like yourself in the category of some of these other guys. Right. It might be against the law now. It might be. Why is it against the law?
It's a victimless crime.
But here's the thing. But let's talk about victimless crime. It's because the government's not getting theirs.
Their hand went elbow deep in my pocket.
But you look at Big Easy said something one time that really kind of resonated with me. So I'm like, you know what? People making shine and shit, like they get in trouble. They know the risk. Well, I'm like, they don't pay taxes. Like, I get it because, like, in the state of Ohio, you got to pay a liquor tax. You know,
well, it's funny.
But hold on. At the end of the day, you buy copper. You pay for the taxes on the copper. You buy jars. You're not making fucking mason jars. You're going to the store and buying them. You're not. You know, say you got a guy growing corn for you. He's paying taxes to grow the fucking corn to sell to you. You're going to the fucking farmer to buy the corn. You're paying the taxes. You're paying all these things, but they want every fucking dollar that they can get you. And that's what this is about. This isn't about, you know, hurting somebody, Dylan, right? You know, that victimless crime.
But what I'm saying is Fred said it best from Lake Erie Distillery when we were up there. He said the difference between me and these moonshiners, I pay taxes.
If I actually believe I'm getting screwed.
Yes.
He said, I'm getting screwed. They're not. But when you put what your situation, Johnny, we should be throwing fits right now. We should be throwing fits. John Pence right now. You look at everything that he's doing to become a legal, pretty much you're screwing yourself, John, right? You're trying to open up a dream, make it legal. You know, you could go the opposite direction, right? But you're trying to do that, and they're fucking him. So it's like you
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You're damned if actually you're fucked if you do, and you're fucked if you don't. Right?
That's right. So Johnny, explain to me this though. Explain to me. I can make all the wine I want at home, all the beer I want at home, but don't make a damn liquor moonshine.
It's because it's an alcohol content. They want to. They know people want the good shit, Johnny. Well, they want the good shit. You know damn well you're not going to a liquor store. You know, we know where the good liquor's at.
So Johnny, Joe put in here
from Hoochie Hooch Distillery,
which ties into my question for you.
Yes,
he put Alabama wants 57% tax on each jar sold. Is
Yes.
Alabama a controlled state like Ohio is?
Yes, ABC. And I tell you, shout out to Hooch Hooch Distillery.
Actually,
I've actually got a legal label. They actually allow me to produce that Hooch Hooch until I get my distillery up and running.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
we're headed down there to get a jar of that.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, they two women. They a woman-owned distillery. They both were nurses, and they got like 50 flavors, and they in Dothan, Alabama. The actual address escapes me at this second, but they got a Facebook page, Hooch Hooch Distilling Company. Hey,
Well-
check them out. You won't be disappointed. They make a good product.
So Johnny, you said that you're right in the pathway of the Gulf, right?
Yeah, well, if you get down I-65 and you go to exit 69 and get off on Highway 113, I'm like 1 mile from the Florida border.
So I had to drive right there multiple times because I was in the Marine Corps and I was stationed in Pensacola, and then right afterwards I went to New Orleans, and I used to drive home all the time through Alabama.
Yep, I'll tell you, I'm actually right in the middle. I'm 45 minutes to Pensacola, 45 minutes to Mobile, Alabama.
So I probably had to drive right by you.
Yeah, you probably come through Plumberton and hit I-65.
Yeah, because it was pretty much straight north.
Is it fucked up
that's
that
exactly.
I feel I don't know how to explain it. I feel insulted for you, Johnny. Like I feel that,
It's an injustice.
it's just not right.
It's the way to
And
keep the man down.
So are you breaking me down because I ran a 25-gallon still or a 50-gallon still? Like, are you wasting?
Hold on.
But here's
Go
the
ahead.
thing, Johnny. How much tax dollars
For all the resources there.
that you're resourcing, correct? Thank you.
Yeah.
Versus what I owe you. Like you're
Well,
being,
look at the money they spent by having 40 cops and
that's what I mean.
30 cops, a drone in the
That's-
air, all these
yeah.
guns raised
That's
in
what
your
I'm
face.
saying. How much money are you spending on a tax dollar to raid my fucking house while I'm grabbing a cold Coke?
And the funny thing is, he said all they asked for was 20 pints. Over 20
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to do on the show. I wasn't even doing a full run.
He wasn't even doing the full 50.
Yeah.
And
This
if
is
you
what
was
I'm
doing
saying.
the full
Hey,
50,
but dig this though, when the guy handcuffed me, they didn't shut the still off in my shed. It run for another 30 minutes. And he was reminiscing to his granddaddy used to be a bootlegger. Just kind of familiar, man.
Man, that's
I told
Yeah.
the judge.
He
They
charged
got
it.
5 gallons of clear. They got 5 gallons of clear from me that day and 19 flavor quarts from in the house. And I told the judge, they said it was 7 gallons of clear. I said, Your Honor, it's 5 gallons. He said, We're not here to try the case. I said, Yeah, but it was 5 gallon. I said, They handcuffed me, put me in the swing. The still kept running. So they're responsible for the other 2 gallons that run
Please
off.
tell me, you got a hammock in the front yard or something? You got a hammock? What's going on?
they put you in jail though, or arrested you.
No,
Got
I'm
5
curious.
gallons of liquor,
He keeps
which-
saying he was putting a swing. Do you got a swing in the front yard or something?
Yeah, I'm putting the walk and show you where I was handcuffed at.
That's what I want. That's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get in the nitty gritty here, boys.
But
yeah,
no,
it's probably like a port,
But
kind of
no,
like a.
he's not wrong here, though.
He's not
The
at
second
all.
he was arrested, they should be on the hook for the rest of it.
That's
Two,
true.
yeah, the 2 extra gallon run off within that 30 minutes. And I was handcuffed in my swing. Now,
But
I
you
don't
know
have
what?
it anymore, but
You
I
know
used to have a shed. A shed was sitting right there. And that swing's right there where I was sitting in. And it was probably 50 foot behind me, still running for another 30 minutes. So I'm cuffed in this swing while they're doing their raid and search warrant. Here's the swing, and where that tree's at, the shed was right behind it.
But
Man,
Johnny,
that's how
I'm
close it
saying
was.
it's a good looking swing.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. I've sat there and played on a lot of liquor get run.
Time out. We'll edit that. He saw somebody else doing the liquor. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I've actually been handcuffed and heard liquor running behind me in that swing also.
He's like, hey, can you uncuff me real quick? I gotta swap jars.
Yeah, swap jars, and I told him he was fixing. He cut it off. And I told him, I said, look, you need to break that cap. He said, why? I said, it's gonna suck it in if you don't. I said, so he took the cap off of it, and then they was gonna wait an hour to let it cool down. I said, look, if I'm going to jail, let's go ahead and go. I told him to take the water hose, run some water in it, open that valve, cool it down, we'll go. And I'm waiting another hour, had to go to jail and sit in the swing.
So if they took the cap off, they were operating the still then.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, because I was handcuffed.
But still, Johnny,
But-
the question is, how many pints did they leave with that they didn't put on you?
Oh, well, they got 19 flavor quarts from out of the house. I'd run 5 gallon off, and that was 7 total gallons of clear. So they put 2 gallons added to it after they handcuffed me.
I bet they had a hell of an end of year party.
No
I'm
doubt.
gonna tell you, if I go to court, I won't believe they could bring all those back for evidence. They've been drank.
Yeah,
Oh, guarantee it.
You know what?
that's where the evidence is.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I want. It's all funny, right? We want to make jokes.
Yeah.
But what really fucks me up because, like, talk about this podcast. Listen,
Yep.
Dougie, you, Dylan, Levi, Phil. He's not here. Jason. Jason was part of it. We've put money towards something that we want to do, right?
Yep.
But if the government's not going to make their fucking money, they're going to crush you, and that's what it's all about.
Well,
It's not.
dig this though. When they got me, they come down on this dead end, you gotta come off the main road. You'll go about half a mile and take a left and go probably a quarter mile, and I'm on a dead end. They come by 4 active meth houses. You can smell the chemicals in the damn air, and rode by them to come get me for 7 gallon of clear and a 5 gallon of clear on my part, and 19 flavored quarts. And
That you were taking to a show.
Yep.
And Johnny, I think the government deserves to give you an apology. But hey, listen, we're never going to get it. I've always told Johnny or John Bence boy, we've talked about this before. When we look at moonshine, John Bence has been a part of this community way before we were ever there. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to act like we've knew moonshine up until 2 years ago, right? We knew nothing of it. But the community brought us in.
It's
right?
the most lovely community you can ever.
Dude, we raised money for a boy in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
That has cancer. They're wanting to do more for that boy. I've witnessed bike. What's it called when they all get on the bikes and
the bike club, the Punisher,
the moonshine bike club. Yeah, toy runs. I've witnessed John Bence stress for months to put together something that's making a difference.
All right, speaking of that, let me tell you what I got going. I got in September the 6th, I actually got lucky. I say lucky, I've actually earned it. I was reached out to by the Van Zant family. They had a cousin, Jimmy Van Zant, died of 2016 from cancer, and he done a lot for St. Jude's. Well, September the 6th, I'll be releasing a memorial outlaw whiskey for Jimmy Van Zant, for the Van Zant family down in Jacksonville, Florida. September the 6th, and it's going to be a big St. Jude benefit also. We're going to try to raise $100,000 for St. Jude, and then they're going to actually take 4 World War II veterans and 4 Korean War veterans and have a big celebration and give them accommodations and show appreciation to them for.
What date is that again? Because I want to be there.
We're gonna write these dates down, and we're gonna be there.
There's actually a Facebook page dedicated to this event, JVZ Whiskey Release.
Okay.
What is that again?
JVZ.
JVZ, Jimmy Van Zant, JVZ Whiskey Release.
Write this shit down.
And I tell you also, we got a guy that's actually took Joey Nichols. He got a guy that Johnny Van Zant's famous white hat was made by a company in Texas. The guy that made that hat is doing a recreation of Ronnie Van Zant's hat. Be the only one like it, and they're gonna auction it off for St. Jude's that day. And also, there's a guy building a guitar from scratch. It's built for ZZ Top and a lot of big names, and he's gonna have ingrained, burnt in the wood, the pictures of everybody that died in the airplane crash that's scattered, and they're gonna raffle that off also, like an auction to take. And
so Johnny,
want to go to St. Jude's.
Johnny, you want to talk about what you got arrested for? Is what you're just talking about?
Yeah.
You're putting a stop. You're putting a stop to what matters. Okay, we might be stretching the law a little bit, right? We might. You might be going out running some shine, doing some things, but at the end of the fucking day, John Bence, dude, I'm sorry I keep picking on you. A couple months ago, John Bence puts together something for. We went to Tennessee.
Yep, the North Carolina flood victims.
The flood victims, and we called John right away. It's a brother to us, and we're like, Johnny, what the fuck can we do? Like we got to do something. We put one post up to our community. We're like, we're part of a moonshine community that's doing this. And everyone's like, I don't know what toy to get, but here's $20. Here's $100. Here's this, here's that. And we ended up putting John, I won't say we, but John Bent single-handedly put together an idea. And we ran with it, right? We had John, can you shout out the guys that helped for that raffle when we came down there?
If you're talking the auction,
yes, sir.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So the auction, we had several involved in. We had us here at Firehouse Shine. I say us because me and the wife both was in.
The wife's done amazing things.
What is it?
I said your wife's done amazing things. Every time we're there, your wife's there.
American Whiskey was down. They brought Sturge's wife and kids and Ann.
Yes.
And then we had Sean Peterman, and we had Jason Davis and his wife. We had Roy and Nikki.
And that's including the people that were there. Then you got Big Easy putting together things for this raffle. We got
that's just people that was here, and then we had all kinds of
Tracy Baumgardner.
Yep.
And that's what you're put. What's up, Jason Kendall? What's up, brother? Love you, man. But that's what I'm getting to here is you put together something that matters, and the moonshine community just whether they get along, people are arguing, it doesn't matter at that point, right?
No,
it never matters. It never matters. Like the there's always going to be kind of a competition, right?
Sure, absolutely.
No matter what,
it's nature.
I mean,
at the end of the day, they all come together. They come together for the better good.
And John Bentz,
I can guarantee tonight there's people watching that don't like me exactly. People watching that don't like y'all exactly. But when it comes down to it, everybody comes together.
Yes.
And what really kills me, Johnny Griffis, is the fact that we're shutting down something that's an art, right? Vince and I talk about it all the time. Moonshine's an art. It's something that we've been a part of for a short period of time, but we learned about the history. Then my dad's like, yeah, it's crazy. Southern Ohio, your great grandpa and your great great grandpa, that's what they did. There's history in every bloodline, and it goes back so fucking far. And that's what it's about. But you're so that's why I wrote a song called Ohio Moonshine. John,
I checked that out before. Good song, by the way.
Let's tell you something right there. You have an Alabama moonshiner right there saying Ohio Moonshine's good.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I wasn't prepared for that, so I appreciate that. That song, I sat down here for hours, actually weeks, right? And I'm trying to put together something because, I don't know if I'm able to do it because I don't want to get in trouble. And at one point, Dylan and Sean Rigsby are like, fuck it,
I'm going to cut him off right there. He's modest when he says days or weeks. He sat down here for months, and he just kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And if it wasn't for people like Sean, Jason Kendall, Big Easy,
all of them,
myself, we just said, dude, just fucking do it.
I maybe Chris Stapleton, like Jason said, but all joking aside, when it came down to it, I was like, let me put in lyrics what this community does.
And then we went down to Bentz's here, had the release for it. That was a little over a year ago.
Yep.
And just haven't turned back since. He's releasing more songs, writing more songs, and he's kicking ass with it.
I tell everybody that song was wrote for me. and the reason why I do is because while it may be wrote for others, you listen to it and it speaks to you, then it's wrote for you. So I tell everybody it may have been wrote for in mind.
Johnny Griffis, it could be written for put Alabama there. You see these, and let me just back forward a little bit, or back. I'm drunk a little bit, so backtrack a bit.
Can't go back forward.
I'll never forget. There's a situation that happened. Two things that happened with my son. He's 9 years old. I'll never forget grinding corn and trying to figure out how to grind it because Sean Rigsby's corn grinder broke. And I have a picture of my son and his daughter trying to crank this corn.
Your son and your daughter?
No, my son and Sean Rigsby's daughter.
Oh, okay.
And to look at that picture and just realize that today, my son forgets everything. He's young, but he doesn't forget that.
Yeah.
He doesn't forget
Priceless
that.
picture.
It's a core memory.
Man, to me, what John Griffis is going through right now is bullshit. And you should be ashamed of yourself in Alabama government. Be ashamed of yourself because he's done more for his community than you could even think of. It's a shame. And at the end of the day, what this community has done, we've been a part of a lot of communities, Dylan.
Yeah.
This is the one that we can't leave, right? This is the community, John Bentz, that you guys have created. Sean Rigsby, Big Easy, Philip Lowe, John Bentz.
Yep.
All these guys that are just willing to put, I don't care what I'm doing. Here's all of it.
Well, Sturge,
here's everything that I've ever done. What can we do to help?
Sturge, it's like we go through this every week. American whiskey was not found to sit here and just do meats and stuff with moonshiners. But we find ourselves doing this because it's such an open arms community. And we haven't really met bad people doing this.
Ever.
It just makes it so easy to do this kind of stuff that we just keep coming back to it.
But Johnny, you look at Dylan, that's actually beautiful, to be honest. But you look at the things that are going on in today's world, okay? It takes over the media. But there's so many things going on, small, grand scheme of things, small. John Bentz, the floods, right? What was the government doing for the floods? Nothing. They were doing nothing.
They were taking the money and giving it to, what was that?
FEMA was actually stepping in and moving it where they wanted it.
They were giving it to foreign relief, and it didn't even stay in the United States.
But Johnny, the things that you're doing, the things that you're passionate about, are everybody else around you, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's what this is about.
Yep.
Yeah, there's two communities I've been a part of, and that's the biker community and the moonshine community. And for the most part, you can't beat either one.
Well, that's like Sturge brought up. The biker community here, they did a poker run a couple weeks ago, and it kills me to see law enforcement act this way towards moonshiners when they're the same people doing these benefits for slaying cops.
Can we be honest? We're doing benefits. We're selling moonshine to more law enforcement officers than anyone else out there.
Yeah.
Hey, when I looked out the door that day, the first day, September 12th, 2022, out of 30, 35 of them out there, 10, 12 of them have been buying for years. But now Montgomery come down and they picked up like local drug task force and some guys to bring with them. And a local guy here, he's actually the police chief now in my town. He found out where they was coming. He told the main guy, said, look, I don't know why y'all down here, why y'all messing with Johnny. He's a good dude. He ain't doing nothing wrong in my eyes. I'm taking my 4 guys and we're getting the hell out of here. He asked my wife to move the truck and he took his 4 guys and hit the road. He wouldn't even stay.
Yeah, making liquor is not a bad thing. They want to portray it as a bad thing.
Well,
They don't get their cut.
Ben,
Back during COVID, everybody was making hand sanitizer for everybody.
that's right.
Or essential oils.
Yep.
But you look at, so everyone's like, well, to make you go blind, it'll do this, it'll do that. Well, it's like, well, it's kind of interesting because we're not running fucking moonshine through car radiators now. Right, guys? We're not, it's so much different than when it, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s. It's not the same thing. And what I see is passionate boys, girls, whatever groups trying to put together something worth a fuck.
Well, Sturge, every time we talk about
You want to overcharge me at the fucking state store? Why would I do that when I can go to a gentleman down the road that makes better liquor? And why am I getting in trouble because I'm not paying the government?
Yep.
You're silly.
well,
Their
sir,
hand ain't in your pocket.
it's one of my favorite stories, and I know I get you to share it a lot, but it shows the way even kids act. What was the funniest story about Ryan in class?
So Johnny Griffis, John Benson knows this, but you're gonna love this. So they had a spelling word. The spelling word was still. This was last year. And nobody was getting the word right because they're throwing one L on it. So my son got the word right. And so his teacher says, what's that mean? Like, what's still mean? My son stands up proud as fuck. And he says, a still's what you run moonshine on. I called John Bence and Rigsby right away. I'm like, you guys won't fucking believe it. My son
got it.
He stood up in front of 30 people and his teacher. By the way, my wife teaches at the same school.
And he legit said, I know what that means. My dad has one in the basement.
He has a still in the basement and he makes moonshine. And so my wife calls me and I'm like, why has she called me 35 times? So I'm like, must be important. So I answer it and she's like, listen, your son just told 30 kids and the teacher.
I lost my sound for some reason.
You're okay. All right, we'll pause. Let us know when you hear us. Check one. Do I sing a song? Do you hear us?
You might need to.
Sometimes I have to go out and come back in.
You might have to back out, Johnny.
Are you on your phone?
He's muted. It says he's muted. Can you hear us, Johnny?
He's probably leaving, coming back.
Yeah, if I'm on my phone, I go out and come back in. It comes right back up.
I'll be honest with you. We'll wait for this man to come in because this is one of the coolest interviews I've ever had. We've ever had.
Look, John, you see this paper? I called him today and we wrote all that shit down.
I love it, man.
And I ain't had to say a word about it because we've covered it without.
But John, I think my favorite part of the interview is I'm always stressed about it. So I want to talk to John. And John's like, we never interview. Remember, you say we're hanging out.
Yep.
Johnny, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I lost signal for a second.
What was the last thing you heard, Johnny?
So did you hear about my boy in the spelling test, right?
I heard where left the L out. He stood up proud, and I lost everything.
Okay, so my boy stands up proud. Nobody can understand this word still. So it's got not one L, but two L's. So my son stands up proud, and he says, my daddy's got a still, and my daddy runs moonshine. That's what a still is. And she looks at him and says, actually a beat. No, she doesn't say no. She goes, Ryan, you're right. But there's another way of using still. My son sits back down. What are you talking about? Right. So my wife calls me because she's a teacher at the
same school.
And she calls me 30 times. Finally, I'm like, well, she called me 30 times. I should probably call back.
Yeah.
And she says, you won't believe what your son did today. And she told me, she's like, my daddy runs shine. I help him grind the corn. Like, he's going through the whole story. Finally, the teacher shuts him down. And dude, I was so proud because if my son, here's the thing, kids are so innocent.
Oh, yeah.
They know between bad and good.
Yep.
Right? They're going to tell you if something's not right. I could tell my son.
All he saw was I'm making memories with my dad.
Not at one point did he see a law broke, right?
Right.
Now give him a knife and say, stab a person. That ain't going to happen.
He's going to be like, no, Dad.
Because he knows it's wrong.
Right.
He seen the pride Daddy took in it, so he was proud to stand up and speak too.
Well, he didn't see what is. I am proud of it. Yeah. But I'm saying Sean Rigsby, John Bence, dude. John, listen, when my son says John Bence, he says the John Bence. Because that's a hero to him. Go look at his wall in his room. We're moving him down to the basement. He wants to make sure that those stickers on his wall come downstairs. I don't need any fucking thing else to validate what I'm doing today.
That says a lot.
I don't want him to validate any of my friendships. He doesn't have to. I don't have to validate it. He's met them. You know, they have created a man already. He's 9.
Hey, I got a story something similar to that. My nephew, he is 15. He'll be 16 in June. He's going to play college ball somewhere, I'm sure. He's a good baseball player.
Oh yeah.
To be 15, he's 6'3", 250 pounds. He's got a 14.5 shoe.
My
But,
God.
but
You sure it's not a linebacker?
He better be pitching.
he's a pitcher, and actually he hits several home runs a game almost. But anyway, he was little, so my mother passed away 2 months before he was born. So my sister went back to work. I kept him just like I do my grandkids, and he would be 3 and 4, and she'd come home and get him, and he would cry, I want to stay with Uncle Johnny, and she'd make him go home because she felt bad him staying with me all day. I said, look, I don't mind, I enjoy it. Well, she said, well, it's too much on you. So an hour later, she'd call me. Said, he's still crying. I'm going to have to send him back. When he falls asleep, towed him over there. So long story short, I'd make moonshine and I'd be gone. And somebody would call and was want some. He'd sit in his swing in his yard at 4 years old. I'd had maybe 30 flavors, and somebody would call, tell me what they want. I would call him. He would go get them and put them under a big lid of a barbecue smoker. He knew all the flavors and all. And he'd go on his swing across the yard and sit and watch them pull up, get it, put the money there. He'd run back after they left, get the money, wouldn't tell his mama, put it under his mattress. Uncle Johnny gets home, he come ponies up with me, and I paid the man for basically bootlegging for me.
Hell yeah.
Listen,
That's a great story.
it's goddamn it. It sounds like my boy.
Yeah.
Yep. We call him, there was a guy last year, he was playing travel ball, and they was eating at Wendy's, and I mean, he got like a big meal and ate everybody else's food, and he just eat more food you could believe. And one of the guys up there says, you ain't just a little bit hungry, but you big hungry. And boy, did the nickname stick. Now he's known as Jay Sportwood, aka Big Hungry.
I love it, man. And that's the thing. So that was my point. Look, kids know right, they don't know wrong. You have to teach them wrong. End of story. You have to teach a child wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're automatically done. They know what's right. And when I go in my son's room at night to do the Lord's Prayer, he says his personal prayer. And I know daddy, listen, I'm daddy, right? I know I got so many flaws, man. I want that boy, my daughters. I got $3, one boy. I want them to be better than I'm ever going to ever be, man.
Oh, that's all it's about.
But you look at that fucking wall.
If you don't want that for your kids, I don't know what's going on.
Dude, but you look at that wall. It's not Reds. It's not Green Bay Packers or my favorite teams. It's literally moonshiners.
Yep.
Why?
Real people.
Yeah, his best.
Well, I'll tell you, he don't know me, but if you'll send me your address, I'm gonna send him a shirt he can put on his wall or something. It's got an old school Cadillac.
First off, Johnny.
Tell him, bro.
First off, Johnny, that's not going on his wall. The second he opens that, he's gonna say, "I'm wearing this to school."
Dude, he came out with Vince's moonshine T-shirt and Ohio moonshine song hat for. What was it for?
Even funnier than that. So last year at Farm to Bottle, for the second year of it,
that
Rich Regal throws him a white trash mofo shirt.
A WTMS white trash.
He's sitting there jamming out to this music. We get done with it and everything, and I hear him ask his mom, "Hey, can I wear this to the first day of school?" It says white trash.
No, not only that,
it.
he wants to wear a John Bence's hat, which moonshine, okay, and a white trash motherfucker shirt. And I'm like, well, here's the thing, guy. He's not upset or mad or whatever.
Hey, Joe, send me a message and I got you.
But what I can say, if my son can see what's happening in the community,
right,
I'm all in. It doesn't make a difference. I am literally all the fuck in. And that's what matters the most to me. I don't give a fuck what the ATF's got to say, right? I don't care what I know the John Bence means something to my son. I know, I know these guys, a Big Easy. When Big Easy came to my house, my son was fucking starstruck. Sean Rigby's, we're grinding corn with his daughter, right? And he has those memories. We went to
I was asked if I was going to spend the night.
Right? That's a fact. You were supposed to have like a bike run, remember?
Yeah.
It didn't happen, so he was disappointed, but whatever. But it's all about, listen, we got a little boy right now, my son's best friend's brother, one of my wife's good friends, a girl I grew up with, her son. What, 6? Is he 6?
I believe. Well, is he about to turn 6 or is he about to be 7?
He's either about to be 6 or 7. Is got leukemia and he can't have a birthday party. So his mama said, well, we'll do a drive-by birthday party. And my goal right now is John Benz to roll up through the motorcycle with everything, every car be decorated. I want so many people to Google what moonshine is because I know we can fucking do it, man.
Yep.
I know.
When's his birthday?
What's that?
Hold on. I'll pull it up.
Well, so Dylan's going to pull it up right now. This is that's what we're all about. And that's what
the day before Mother's Day.
It's his 5th birthday. It's his 5th birthday.
He's turning big 5. He's turning big 5. Leukemia.
So he turns 5 on May 11th. We're doing this drive-by on May 9th.
So May 9th, we're doing a drive-by to Honk and Holler. Let's give him more than a goddamn honk and holler. That boy's more.
If I can't be there, I want somebody to FaceTime me as you go by. If I can't be
do
there,
it. We'll make sure
Johnny,
I'll talk to him myself.
You after this, I added you. We'll exchange numbers. I don't care. Whatever we can do, if we can get shirts, everything, whatever, we'll get out and throw them on the lawn for him.
Dude, you already fucking know.
Yeah, like I say, I'll send you something.
Johnny, this is what it's all about, baby.
Yeah, cause I got a moonshine shirt. It's got an old rebel flag with an old school Cadillac busting out of it, and it says "L.A. Shine, Lower Alabama Shine, the Cadillac of moonshines."
Is it baby blue? Is it a
still,
DeVille?
I used to run this Doug, man.
But still, what better to show a kid that people are out there to have people from all over the United States sending stuff.
That's right.
That resonates.
You know what's amazing?
The thing we got going on down there in September 6th, if he wasn't sick and was able to travel, I'd have him down there and at the St. Jude's benefit and the whiskey release, bring him on stage and recognize him too as being one of the ones battling.
We can make that shit happen.
Well, once
somebody
he's actually
will be
able to be out and about, I'm sure this kind of stuff can be done.
We'll figure that out. Here, Johnny, we'll talk about this kind of stuff outside of this, but what I will tell you this. I've never met you. Yep. And your mindset right now is not about the law. It's not about anything going on legally. It's not anything going on illegally. You want to help this boy.
I got people follow my regular page. John, I know. I got a granddaughter to be 6 here in a couple of months, and I got a grandson just turned a year old. She's been 2 years of pre-K and 1 year of kindergarten. I've carried her to school every day and picked her up. And I keep my grandson during the day when she's going to school. One day last year, my wife's from South Carolina, so I carried her to a Clemson ball game. And I carried my granddaughter to school, and I told her to the baby, Papa won't be here to pick you up this evening. I'm carrying Nanny to the ball game. And she says, "You're just joking, Papa." I said, "No." So she went in there to eat breakfast at school. She started crying. The teacher went to her and said, "What's wrong? Papa won't be here to pick me up from school." They had to let her go in the classroom and eat because she was crying so bad. So I pick her up every day. I ain't missed very many.
But hey, that's family right there.
Yep, all for the kids. But whereas mine, I told a guy they was on the baseball field, and matter of fact, my little fella's sick and he's crying. I'm gonna pick him up while we're talking. Come here, buddy. Come on. Tell him, hey, bud. Tell him, hey.
What's up, little man?
Tell him, hey. We're gonna kill you outside. And he's got a little.
He's got a little fella that was on there when we was talking earlier.
Yeah, he's got a little virus. Had to carry him to the doctor today. He ain't feeling the best.
Oh, but so look at him now. He's like, I'm outside with you. I'm good.
The show, though.
You know, the swing I was in, the swing I showed y'all, this is his version of the swing.
I will tell you guys this. So we're about an hour in. John, Vince, you want to hop off. But Dylan, can you share the information for the drive-by?
Okay, so the drive-by, the plan is everyone's going to meet at Kitten Ridge High School here in Springfield, Ohio on May 9th at 6 p.m. I'm willing to bet right now there's not going to be room for everybody to pull in that parking lot.
But we'll fucking try.
But I guarantee you that we're going to be heard.
Yep. If we can't make it, me and Jimbo Bray both will send a shirt, and I want somebody to FaceTime us. We'll definitely speak to the kid and cheer him up and try to tell him happy birthday.
Johnny, if you and Jimbo want to get on here before this happens and just talk about this, we don't have to talk about anything else, man.
Okay.
We talk about this right here.
Hey, that's to me. That's just as important as the craft we if not more important than the craft we all love.
To be honest, the craft that you love is what pulls up, man.
Yep, exactly.
So listen, you boys hang on. We'll talk after this.
Okay.
But Julia's in the comments. She can comment after the show goes. But this is what, when we talk about what American and Whiskey, what's the odds that his show was American and Whiskey? Right?
American Whiskey episode.
Yeah.
But what it's all about for us, we make no money on these podcasts. None.
Right.
So I actually got to bitch these guys out to help me pay for some shit, right? What did Jennifer just say? Can we pull that up? Jennifer said, can we send some gifts for his birthday if we can't make it there? Absolutely.
We'll make it. We'll make sure it gets there.
And, dude, my son's best friends with his brother, and my wife's good friends with the mama, and I grew up with the mama, so I call her a good friend. But this is what it's all about right here. This is what it's all about right
that
here.
That little boy goes through leukemia. He goes through a lot every day of his life. Shows more courage than a lot of spineless people I know do in a year's time. He deserves that one big day.
So, Sturge, I want to do this. I'll say it right now. If you'll reach out to Red Ball, let's make another 30 hats. I don't care if I have to fund them up front. And let's get more Superman Larkin shirt or hats out there.
So we're gonna do Superman Larkin hats. So here's an interesting thing that happened at Farm to Bottle. You were there.
Yep.
Doug. We had was it a silent auction?
Silent auction.
A silent auction. We had nothing there. We showed up there and we're like, here's what's going on. The Moonshine community showed up huge.
We had like 30 different baskets by the end of this thing.
Here's what what's this podcast about? Johnny, what's this podcast about?
Moonshine, American Whiskey, family, tight knit group, a lot of stuff.
Family.
The American dream.
The American dream. So you guys understand, we all struggle, right? Have you ever looked at your light bill and be like, fuck, do I pay the light bill or the car payment?
Yep. Make life decisions over a tank of gas.
Let us deal with that, but don't let them deal with that.
No, they got enough to deal with.
So this is what it's, man, Johnny, I'm so fucking glad you're on here tonight.
Well, like I say, I couldn't think. My granddaughter, I brought it up a while ago, how close we are, and her crying because I didn't pick her up one day of school because in Clemson, South Carolina, at a ball game because Dabo sent me and my wife a couple of tickets. And I know what my grandchildren mean to me. And if one of them had leukemia and had to battle a disease like that, it would crush me. And it crushes me for any other kid to go through it too.
Burned Out Winery. They didn't know one person at Farm to Bottle. All they want to do was help. You look at, what is it, Moonshine Militia?
Yep.
A lot of those guys pull up and they're like, dude, I know you don't know me, but here's this. See what we can get out of it. What do you want out of it? Don't worry about what I want out of it. I ain't getting shit.
I mean, shit. We
still talking.
We donated stuff for a basket and bought shit.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, with some good shit in that. But all right, listen, guys, you already know what it's all about. Joe Longhorn, who is that? I just want to appreciate this guy.
I believe he is the distilling company.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd love to get you on, Joe. So get with Dylan here. He'll get a hold of you. I'd love to get you on, man.
I've already been messaging Joe.
Perfect.
Hey, who's the distilling company? Like I say, there's two woman-owned distillery, and I believe he's the
James.
master distiller there now. And you can't ask for better people. Everybody go to Hoot Hoot Distilling Company. Check their page out. They got 50 flavors. You won't be disappointed.
I'll tell you this right now. Nothing matters about American whiskey. It's about what we can do for the community.
That's right.
That's what matters. I don't give a fuck about nothing else. Our show can be a little bit crazy sometimes, but at the end of the day, we're here to raise money. And that's what we want to do. John Bentz is he's the fucking best. If you don't show up for his distillery release, what do you think this guy's going to do? We already know what he does.
He's going to keep doing him.
This guy does what he does. So we're going to end it. Can you guys stay on?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right, cool. So as always, I'm Big Sturge.
I'm Justice League.
Dougie Fresh.
The only one with a drink tonight.
Hey, that's a lie.
This might be talking
John Benz.
Johnny, who are you?
Moonshiner Johnny Griffis, the LA Outlaw.
And I want you guys to know, I'm gonna end it with this. There's so many fucking good people in this community. We've got people, Doug Taylor. We've got Tuckin' Reds. We've got Still Talking, which got Jason Kendall, Sean Rigsby, Big Easy, Lee Master. You've got so many people. John Bentz.
Johnny Griffis.
John Bentz will make this show go on for 15 minutes longer just in Ohio, right? We'll go with just Ohio. But there's so many people in this fucking community that can change lives, that do it every fucking day. And that's what this show is all about. When people want to know, what's American whiskey all about? This.
Yep.
Rewatch this show. You'll see what we're about. As always, I'm Big Sturge.
Justice League.
Dougie Fresh.
And we are American